Today you'll see a beautiful knit dress that you can also make as a separate and just make the skirt. It's got a fake wrap skirt tucked into a bodice, so it's really safe. And I've got a dress and a skirt to share. Stay tuned. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and I can't swipe the smile off my face because I've made a dress I've wanted to make since I bought the pattern in 2019 when it was released.
This is the Follow Me wrap dress and skirt from Pattern Emporium. I loved all the details back then when it was released, and I had this PDF in my files for so long. Finally made it.
I'll run through all the features with you. It's got a fitted bodice. This bodice is going to hit the waist. The bodice has an amazing fit because there's a center back seam. I love that. It's shaped. I would suggest you don't get rid of that. It's going to make the back fit really, really well there. So I love that. For the neckline, it's rounded. You can do a high scoop or a low scoop, or finished with neckbands, very easy. Now for sleeves, you can do a sleeveless version with armbands. The sleeveless version has its own separate bodice. You can print out that bodice because it's just completely different to the other bodice that will have a different armhole for the cap, the short, the long, the 3/4 length sleeves, or the sleeve options. You can also sew a flutter sleeve, like a full circle sleeve there as well. Many options with the sleeves. I'm doing the sleeveless banded version because it's just really hot and I just love my sleeveless dresses. I get the most wear out of them because I can also lay a jacket on top and have my arms free and not get too hot. So that's just my thing. Of course, there are so many sleeves there. Go ahead if sleeves are your option. The skirt is a wrap skirt, longer at the back. On the front, it overlaps with a rounded edge, so it's going to look a little bit like a tulip. You can choose between the simple one, just the wrap skirt, or one with a flounce added. Love the flounce. You have mini above the knee, below the knee lengths. All the lengths, I'm doing the below the knee because I know that on the front, that overlap tulip thing is going to end up right above the knee where I want it to be, a little longer on the back. I think it looks really cute. I am opting for the flounce option for my dress, but I also am going to make a skirt. You can make the skirt as a separate. There's a yoga waistband included in the pattern. You can just make the skirt as a separate. For that one, because my knit is a little heavier and not that drapey, I'm not going to do the flounce. Now, this is a pattern that's 50% off on the special Friday sales that they're running. This is in Australia. Sale starts at 6 a.m. on Friday in Australia, but because we're over here in this area of the world, starts Thursday evening. When you click on the link, if you want to go have a look, you'll see a countdown on the top that will let you know when the sale ends. Around this area of the world, it will be around Friday night. It's always easier to check the countdown rather than calculating the different time zones. Remember, Pattern Emporium is Australian, so very different. 50% off, amazing deal. This is an amazing pattern. It's got so many details. Fabrics knit, of course. You need your knit to stretch at least 25% horizontally, at least 15% vertically. You cannot make the bodice in a fabric that doesn't have vertical stretch because it's just not going to fit correctly. The bodice is nice and fitted, so make sure you check your fabric that it stretches in every single direction. The difference with the skirt though, if you want to make the skirt as a separate, you can use a knit that doesn't stretch vertically. It won't affect the fit if you just want to make a separate skirt. But for the actual dress, you do need that vertical stretch for the bodice waistline to hit correctly and everything to be comfortable. Light to medium weight fabrics, so many fabrics you can choose here. You can make it for summer, you can make it for winter. You know, use cotton lycra if you want to. It's just that I wouldn't use the flounce option because it wouldn't drape really well, but you can use it if you want to. Rayon spandex, modal spandex, bamboo spandex are drapey. Those will take the flounce really well. Remember that these fit a little looser, and because they have so much vertical stretch, the garments can end up looking longer than what you thought. I don't like rayon spandex. That's just my personal opinion. It doesn't wash well. It doesn't last looking nice for a long time. So I usually tend to avoid it. You can use ITY, double brush poly. If you want a winter version, you can use a sweater knit, you can use a stretch velvet. An athletic knit is amazing. These fabrics don't crease. They usually flow amazingly. If you find a medium weight one, that would be cool. Swim fabric, rib knit. If you wanted something a little heavier like Liverpool or Ponte Roma, that would be fine. It's just that I wouldn't use the flounce option with those because the flounces wouldn't drape nicely. I would just use the simple wrap skirt style there. that would be cool. You don't need any special notions other than your serger. Most of the seams are going to be done with the serger. You don't need zippers, interfacing. You don't need anything like that. So it's basically your fabric. I've chosen ITY for one of mine for the dress, and for my skirt version, I'm going to use a sort of heavier sweater knit. For the skirt, I'm just going to do the yoga waistband and no flounce. Sizing available is from 6 to 24 Australian. So this one up to size 24 will cater up to a 53.5-inch hip. If you know how long you like your skirts and you have the reference of your natural waist going down, you can measure from the back down to the bottom of the hem. It'll go anywhere from 18 to 25 inches, depending if you're sewing the mini, above the knee, below the knee. So that should help you decide. Personal fitting adjustments, just choosing my size in this case, a size 16. You can see the chart here where I plot my measurements down. My size is between a 14 and a 16 at this point, but I'd rather just sew the size 16 waist just to be a little bit more comfortable. But otherwise, all my measurements are a bust, everything falls into one size, which makes it easier for me because I don't need to do anything. I'm not adding length to anything. I'm not changing a thing. Personal fitting, no fitting adjustments, which is usually the case for the Pattern Emporium patterns I've made. I've rarely had to do any fitting adjustments. This is how my gorgeous dress turned out. I love this navy and white print over here. It's an ITY, very comfortable. There is that center back seam. The coverage is great. Remember, I have a full masterclass on neckbands and binding and all different types of finishes for knit garments. I'll leave that link down below. Super helpful if you want something more in depth. But it's like always, divide your neckline in four, divide your neckband in four. It's always shorter. Stretch it as you sew. Keep the raw edges together and it always works a treat. Low front scoop because it's my preference. There is a higher one there. And then we have the skirt sewn right into the bodice right there. The skirt has some orange and striped details. It was the print that was like this. So I just made sure to match these stripes up here on the sides at the bottom. And then on the flounce, we have a little bit of stripe over here, a little bit of stripe over there. So it's quite interesting the way it turned out. I couldn't really plan it specifically because I was just trying to use up my fabric the best way I could. But yeah, so easy, all on the serger. I would say the only thing that took a long time was to hem this flounce because I hand basted it and then I sewed it. It took quite a long time. Relaxing though, I was just watching something on TV and just getting it done, you know. I think the effort of doing the flounce nicely and having it before sewing it onto the skirt is totally worth it because it's so cute. I have hacked other patterns to have flounces. You don't need to hack anything. It is part of the pattern and I think it looks super cute. Let's see this one on by itself so you can see it, and then with a topper. This is my Follow Me wrap dress from Pattern Emporium in an ITY knit. A very interesting print with striped details that I've left towards the bottom, towards the hem below my full hip. There was actually no other way I could use this fabric responsibly. I think the print is really striking, makes the dress a little bit different. Love the navy and the white. The bodice is fitted. I've got a sleeveless bodice because it's really hot. Then I have my wrap skirt sewn onto the bodice with the flounce option. I have the below the knee. This is the longest version and I like that at the front it's a little shorter above the knee where I would want it to be. The bodice length is perfect. It hits exactly at my waist. There is a center back seam on the bodice and the horizontal seam at the back is exactly at my waist height. I'm very, very happy with the fit, and this is a scoop neckline that's a little lower. It's the lowest option, but there's also a higher option. Neckbands and armbands for the sleeveless finish, very easy to achieve. Of course, if you want sleeves, there's a ton of sleeve options. I'm just a sleeveless person at heart because it's just really hot. And the lower neckline doesn't bother me. I'm not showing cleavage or anything. I can bend over and it's quite close to my chest and my skin. I'm not showing absolutely anything, which is really, really good for me. I'm happy I finally got to make it after having the pattern for so long, and the result is so striking. So pretty, so feminine. I absolutely love how it turned out. This is just the dress on its own so you can see the details, but next you'll see it with a little jacket. this little navy crop jacket is the Downtown, also from Pattern Emporium. It's a little shorter, perfect for fit and flare dresses like this. Hem of the jacket stops exactly a little below my waist, so the volume of the skirt doesn't get in the way. It's navy. It was very easy to pair together with this navy, white and orange dress. Gorgeous. I can't wait to wear this out. I'm very comfortable in this knit dress and also feeling extremely cute today. My second follow me is just a skirt on its own, and I knew it was going to happen as soon as I planned to make this dress. I wanted to have a set with a jacket I'd made previously. I had some of this knit fabric left over, a very gorgeous sweater knit. This one is more structured, it's a little heavier, so I never planned to sew the flounce here. I just did the simple wrap over here. Not too drapey, but it's not too stiff either. So it's very cute, longer at the back. On the front has that beautiful crossover, very nice coverage. You will never see your undies or anything like that, and plus it's all caught up here in the yoga waistband. Yoga waistband, easy to sew. It's smaller than the waistline, same as the neckband, divided in 4. Stretch it as you sew, so easy. And this was just a dream come true. Love it. Love how it turned out. I'm going to have a lot of ways to wear it, but I will show you 2 ways with different toppers and my set. It's a dream. The follow me wrap dress can also be a skirt made separately, and that's what I've done over here with this heavier fabric in a sweater knit. Gorgeous. Details up closer, you'll see it's got some checks, very discreet. This time for the wrap skirt, I've just done a simple one, no flounce, and this is because the fabric is heavier, not that drapey, so I didn't think the flounce was going to look good. This looks really streamlined, looks really classic. It was very easy to sew. There's a yoga waistband there, that's part of the pattern. Very comfortable. And again, I have the below the knee length version. The coverage of this wrap goes almost to the side seam from side to side, so you will be very well covered. And the waistband, what can I say, stretchy, very comfortable. I love how it looks with the navy Downtown jacket. I love the combination of the beige and the navy. Absolutely love this outfit for in between weather. So cute. And then this is a dream set. I'd made the jacket a few weeks ago. I always knew I had enough to make a skirt and it was perfect. I think the styles go together beautifully. The jacket is a little bit shorter, doesn't interfere with the volume of the skirt. Totally suits my style right now and I feel absolutely amazing. It looks a little dressy, but I'm so comfortable because everything I'm wearing here is a knit and everything is stretchy and comfortable and marvelous. I can't wait to wear this out in real life to church when the weather gets cooler. This has me ecstatic. I can't wipe the smile off my face because this is a dream set and the style of the skirt goes perfectly. Love it. For sewing, I'll be showing you some steps of my ITY dress, focusing on the pattern pieces and the flounce, how to put all that together, how to put the wrap skirt together. I'm not going to include sewing the bodice because that's super simple. The bodice is a shoulder, a side seam, a center back seam, and then sewing on the neckband and the armbands. Very, very easy. After whipping the bodice together, I'll be back to show you how to put it together with the skirt. So let's see. These are the bodice pieces for my Follow Me wrap dress from Pattern Emporium. I don't have any sleeves here because I'm making a sleeveless version, and actually the bodice pieces are a separate piece for the sleeveless version. For the options with the sleeve, you'll have a different bodice that you can print out where the armhole is going to be different. But it's hot, I like sleeveless, so that's usually my option here for summer dresses. The back is not cut on the fold, and actually there's shaping here in this seam, so that it's really important for you to sew that back seam right there. The front is on the fold. I'm doing a lower scoop right here, but there's also another cut line for you to cut it up higher if you want a higher coverage. These are the two bands for the sleeveless armholes, and this longer one here is for the neckband. Very simple. Now I'll show you the skirt pieces. Here are the skirt pieces. Now this is the front. You can see it's got that curve there. That's what's going to overlap. This is going to be the center front right there, and that is the side seam. I've got some stripe details on this print, and I decided to leave them on this area of the skirt just to make better use of my fabric. And this round piece that you see here is a flounce for the front. I've got two, they're both mirrored. Those are mirrored as well. And you can see it's like a circle. This is actually going to be extended and sewn like this. That's how it's going to be sewn on there. Stripes are going to look cool. Now the back is simple, it's cut on the fold. I have the same type of stripe over here. And this is the flounce for the back. Also a circle flounce. There's a fold right there, and the other one is cut right there. So when you extend it, it's going to be one long flounce, also rounded, and it's going to be sewn to the bottom of the skirt piece right there. Here are my skirt pieces. I've got the back extended on the table, and then I put the two fronts on the top, aligning the side seams. So that's the first simple seam that we're going to do. You can actually make the skirt on its own and follow all the same steps, and then after we're done, we're going to baste these two layers of the front together and then attach a yoga waistband if you wanted to, but this one's actually going to have a bodice. So we'll just do these side seams on the serger, super easy, 1/4 inch seam allowance. After sewing the side seams of the skirt, I'm also going to sew the side seams of the flounce. I have a back flounce right here. You can see it's like a circle. These are going to be the side seams right there. And now the flounce for the front has one side where it's going to have that same width right there. And then the other side goes off super narrow. So the other side would make absolutely no sense. So it's really easy to just line them up now. You can see the circle now is like this. Now they're right sides together, and those little seams will get sewn. I'm also going to take the opportunity, because I'm at the serger, to sew the raw bottom edge and then turn up, because that's going to be hemmed. And then once all this flounce is on, it's a super long piece that gets sewn onto the bottom of the skirt. It took quite a while to fold this up and do some quick hand basting. It was worth it though. It's very curved, so it's going to be a super, super long hem, and I think it's easier to do now with the flounce on its own rather than doing it later when the whole skirt is attached. I mean, it won't make a difference in the grand scheme of things if you do it now or later. I just think it's easier to do now. Because it's very curved, the hem allowance is small, 3/8 of an inch. After doing this hem that took a while, I'm quite happy I've already got that out of the way, because if you're going to do the flounce, I think that is the one step that can take the longest. But it's done. So what I've done is pin it all around the bottom of the skirt, starting from the top where this curve is. That's where the tiny narrow part of the flounce is. Then it starts getting wider, and then we have the flounce match the seam right here on the side for the skirt and the flounce. And then it goes all the way around. It's going to be a pretty long seam. It matches 1 to 1. There are little marks to help you match up the flounce with the bottom of the skirt. They're on the pattern piece. You need to mark it onto your fabric. So it was pretty easy to put together. And now I'm just going to sew this with a serger, 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then the part of the skirt will be done. I've overlapped the skirt pieces on the front and I'm basting them along the top edge so that it can act like one piece. Maybe you can see that red line that matches the red line there. These are the center fronts of these skirts. They're matched up. They're marked on the pattern piece. So I've got them one on top of each other so that everything's centered. I've already assembled the bodice. That was super simple, just a center back seam that's right there. I've done the shoulders, the side seams, the armbands and the neckband. Very simple construction. And then I put the skirt inside the bodice. They're right sides together right there. Made sure to match up the back with the back. Easy mistake to make. Easy to look for the center back seam of the bodice and the side of the skirt that is not overlapped to make sure that the back is with the back and the front was with the front. I've matched up the side seams there and this matches 1 to 1. They have the same circumference and now it's just sewing it on the round and that's it. The dress will be done. Very fun construction. It's going to be amazing. I'm super happy with both of my versions, my dress version, my skirt version. All dreams come true. Very nice fabrics. I choose my fabrics with a lot of love. When I see one, I really have to love it to buy it. I'm way over buying things because it's on sale, because this and that, things I did in the past. I don't do that anymore. So if I choose a fabric, I look at it in a fabric shop. If I buy it, it's because I absolutely love it. My collection of fabrics is quite substantial and I'm just really happy when any of these fabrics becomes an actual garment. It's just so satisfying. And these projects were super enjoyable, super easy, no stress, beautiful design, very classic, and I'm just very happy. Highly recommend. Don't forget to check out this pattern. 50% off is an amazing deal. Remember, the sale was pretty short, ends Friday night. Around this area of the world, it ends Saturday at noon in Australian timing. That's all from me. I will see you again on this channel with more sewing next week. Bye.